Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Calypso Cigar Review Podcast, episode 81.
Is it? Yes.
It is 81, yes.
81.
I am Brandon Luna.
I'm Randy Rankin.
And I am Cigar Deet Nate.
Can't see you, Nate. Where you at?
Yeah, well, your shit's in my way.
My shit's in your... There you go. Yep, still don't see him. There he is. There's Cigar Deet Nate.
And we are at the Calypso Cigar Shop and Lounge in Richardson, Texas.
Yes, sir. And today we're smoking a special cigar that was sent to us by the lovely folks over at Caldwell. This is the Caldwell Eastern Standard.
Nice.
It's got a picture of a dude on it.
Sometimes that's okay.
It's a little pigtail.
Yes, it is a little pigtail on there.
But that's all the deets that we're going to give because it's time for Cigar Deet Nate. What is this cigar, Nate?
It was a completely unnecessary segue, but
I know.
I appreciate it. The wrapper is an Ecuadorian hybrid dark Connecticut. The binder is Dominican Habano. The filler is Dominican Habano Seco, Criollo 98 Viso, and Corojo Ligero.
Ligero.
So, what is the size of this bastard?
This is a 5.5 by 44, I believe. We are doing
Pretty
the
traditional
Euro
Corona.
Espresso, yeah.
So,
Corona.
I'm going to try the pre-cut retro hell.
It's a pretty looking cigar, not real veiny, maybe a little bumpy, but it's weird. Are you feeling that it feels like it's weirdly pressed, like it's got like edges, a lot of different edges to it?
Yeah, a little bit.
You notice that?
Yeah.
It's like almost like a box press, but I
mine
couldn't
is
decide
pretty
if it was a
veiny.
box press.
It's like a coffin press.
Yeah, it's odd. Yeah, something like that.
Mine is fairly veiny, though.
Yours is fairly veiny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we talking about the cigar here?
And you're going to be cutting with the... We're going to be cutting with the Monte Cristo cigar scissor donated to us by Altadis USA and Eddie DeVito. Thank you, Altadis and Eddie.
Cold retro hell on that.
It's a little crunchy.
A little crunchy.
Are you not going to smoke your cigar?
I'll get there.
Jeez.
He'll get there.
He'll get there.
Let's take it back from him. He doesn't need it.
Piss off.
Interesting cold draw.
Yeah, it's a little... Mine's a little tight. But
Yeah, it's a dark Connecticut, which is interesting. So
it
we'll
is.
see what that means.
See how that goes.
Give it a light.
Wouldn't that
and see
be
what's what.
shade-grown Connecticut?
That's Maduro. Did you know that?
I did
Hopefully,
not. Now I
hopefully
do.
we'll find out from the gentleman over at Caldwell later. They're supposed to be on the last segment of the show, if all goes well with Google Plus.
No, Maduro is... Connecticut is grown in the shade. It's Maduro. It's the same plant, but Maduro's in the sun.
Ah, okay. A tobacco
Blowing into
plant.
the mic here.
That is a powerful jet. Did you just refill the lighter, right?
I did.
Nice.
I did just refill the lighter.
Ooh,
I appreciate
that's nice.
Yeah, it is.
Not what you would expect from a Connecticut right off the bat. Ooh,
It's back-to-back
that's kinda
Connecticut's that we're doing, actually.
Did
it get
caught
you?
me in the nose, yeah.
This is a first. We've never done back-to-back Connecticut's.
No, we haven't.
Yeah.
No.
Is this a new leaf?
Technically,
turning?
we had the CAO mini-sode, which just went up today. So if you haven't listened to the CAO Amazon Basin episode, it's up for you to listen to.
Yep. I haven't listened to it yet.
It just the audio went up today. The video wasn't
Oh,
done yet, so
okay.
that's processing now. It'll be up later tonight.
Cool.
The scissors, please.
Yes. Oh, you're going to join us?
Yes, I will.
Okay. Nice.
It just looks so tasty.
It does. Or it is. It does.
It
It's
does
got a
look
little
so
more to it.
tasty.
You-
That's
you know,
correct. Correct grammar.
Connecticut typically you think is going to be creamy and smooth, and this one's got some kick to it, man.
It does. I'm not getting hardly any cream.
Yeah, I know. It's just got like it's like
Jesus.
I'd say it's medium, but it's got some good spice to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cold retro hell is
Not a thing.
Not a thing. Yeah. Non-existent because it's not a thing.
tastes a little bit like tea, bitches.
Tea bitches? What are tea bitches?
Now we're gonna piss off our British audience.
I don't think we have many of those. It's mostly more Japanese and Chinese guys. I imagine.
We had a few in Afghanistan. Hopefully
Oh, yeah?
those were troops.
Troops, yeah, hopefully.
And if you are, thank you for listening and for serving.
Thank you for your service, yes. To
Absolutely.
our wonderful country. That's
I'm
tasty
liking
so
this.
far. Yeah, this
Oh,
is
wow.
tasty.
I'm going to plow right through this.
So-
This is gonna
so
go
the,
down.
Very nice. I
The
like
gentlemen who have made this, Robert Caldwell, was previously with Wynwood cigars, which we did smoke Wynwood.
Yeah, we did do
and
Wynwood.
those were fresh rolled, and we got them a little bit too late, and they had already started to turn.
Oh, that's the one that
Kirk
sent us.
But I heard that those were great because when they went straight out of the factory into the B&Ms, and they were fantastic fresh, but then they had that sick period. I think we got one that was in that sick period.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But that was with through Christian Aroa, and then they split ways, and now they're doing Caldwell Cigars. So,
Nice.
Yep. And these have been very popular in the forums, including the Facebook groups. There's a lot of user groups in Facebook where people just talk about cigars, and all kinds of love for Caldwell out there right now. So,
What do these run?
Either they're doing something right, or people are just picking it up. I don't know, to be honest with you.
Did you see price
on that?
I found two different numbers that were far away from each other. So let me see if I can.
They have the main line, which is the King is dead, and then long live the King, and then the King is long live the King. The King is dead. And then this one, which is the Eastern Standard. And then they have a budget line, which is in the $4 to $6 range.
So for the Coretto, which is a 5x50 of this cigar, the price for the MSRP is $10.50.
Ooh.
Okay, so it's up there.
pricey.
A little
Yep.
bit. So far, it's pretty worth it.
$10.50 for a Robusto is a lot.
There's a lot of them out there like that.
Yeah.
You look at the Black Label Trading Company stuff.
Did it get you? Or did you get you?
Something I breathed it in through my nose.
I think that tends to be
That's the second
almost
party.
expected with the boutique stuff because they are such limited runs.
Absolutely.
So I won't fault them for that at all.
The secondhand retrohale is a lot tougher than the because you're not expecting it and it just hits you. You're like, oh. Now that is a thing.
The secondhand
retrohale. Worse is the secondhand French inhale, which is just oogie. That's when you get up right in a guy's face and just blow it up his nose.
I don't know.
We are still talking about smoke, to be clear.
Okay. Well, with you, we never know. Talking about getting in a guy's face, I'm thinking you're talking about something else.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
That's the part you're going to cling to, not the blowing it up his nose. Jeez.
God. Nate.
So far, so tasty. It's got some balls to it, which is nice.
Oh, my nose still stinks.
7 minutes in, and we've gone blue.
You vagina. Ecuadorian hybrid
so
Connecticut. Good. It is. It's tasty.
This is so good.
It's tasty. And I like the picture of the dude. I wonder who the dude is. I guess we'll find out and ask him.
I'm amongst odd men.
What? Look
You
at
blow
the cigar
smoke
man.
in guys' nose, and you're talking about, ooh, this guy looks good.
I'm just saying the picture of the dude is cool. I mean,
It is a cool dude. It is a cool looking picture.
As a company, Caldwell does, they go a little nutty. And if you look at their website, a lot of their site is like old-timey pictures with their faces stuck in there. So they got like, riding the big giant wheeled bicycle, and it's like one of the reps and stuff. And, so... And they have when they do events, they take movie posters and stick their faces in there. So they had one event that was Wyatt. They had a Wyatt Earp poster and stuck the guy's face in there for Wyatt Earp.
Nice.
And so yeah, they do some pretty goofy stuff. It just seems like they're having a good time, and that's always fun. So I'm looking forward to meeting those guys for sure.
Cool. Wyatt Earp.
Wyatt Earp. So what'd you do this week? Anything good? Sports, a lot of sports. You watch some sports?
Football. Cowboys
Here, the Cowboys won.
They actually played well too.
Yeah, I didn't see it at all, but heard they won.
Oh, so you're not allowed to watch any more games this year because they win when you're not watching.
Okay, whatever. That's fine with me. It's just less
until they
lose
lose when you're not watching it, then it's like okay. Oh, I won my. I'm in not in fantasy football, but I'm in a pick'em league where you pick games.
Okay.
I won for the week.
Sweet.
So that pays my entry fee.
Waftage.
Yeah, nice.
Got some waftage going on.
It's kind of nutty, like a spicy nutty.
Tangy and nutty.
Yeah, tangy's a good word.
Mm-hmm.
It's from the getting it blown up your nose.
God,
nutty. I'm hoping the mic didn't pick that up.
How about you? You do anything good this weekend new?
No, not really. Just had my daughter last weekend, so all was great.
That's good. Always fun to have the kiddos around.
She is loving the new girlfriend, which is fantastic.
There you go.
So,
ooh, he admitted on air that he has a girlfriend.
And
he even called her girlfriend.
Uh-oh.
Labels.
Might have to mute. That might be the worst word we've used on this podcast. Might have to mute that word.
Sorry.
Just beep. Right when he says the girlfriend word.
Speaking of Wyatt Earp, I have a funny story. I was watching an old Pawn Stars the other day. And you know that show, they they research everything. They get it checked out, or Well, this guy owned a dentist's office, and he had a picture on his wall of Doc Holliday doing dental work because he was a dentist.
Yeah.
And they didn't get it verified or anything. And to be honest, I don't remember if they bought it. I don't think they did. I think the guy wanted a lot of money. And I can tell you right now that was not Doc Holliday.
Oh, yeah?
Doc Holliday did not... there was no known photograph of Doc Holliday in his dentist days. None. And they didn't even get this thing checked out. And I know the few Doc Holliday pictures that are authenticated looks nothing like the guy in this picture. So I was just kind of shocked they didn't even verify it.
Wow.
Maybe they didn't verify it because they knew. And
no, they offered
probably
money.
didn't. Oh,
they offered him money for it.
Ugh.
I think the guy wanted like $3,000, and I think they offered him $1,500.
Rick, if you're... Guy's name's Rick? Rick,
Rick, yeah.
If you're listening to the show, that's
Hire
a dumb
me.
move, but also hire Randy because,
when it comes to
shit.
Wild West
yeah,
stuff.
Just have it be the call in. Call Randy, and he'll tell you.
Yep.
We know things. Hire us.
It was actually Corey and I think Chum were the ones that were talking to the guy.
Chum's the one that lost all the weight.
Well, they both have, but Chum's lost the most, it looks like.
Yeah.
Well, he had the most to lose.
Yeah.
That's
I remember seeing the few episodes I saw the episode where he was trying to make him eat, healthy stuff, and they were like all grossing out.
I think Chum did the procedure.
Probably had his tubes tied or whatever, whatever that is. That's tubes tied, but whatever it is, they do for stomach.
Essentially,
that's what Essentially, that's what they're doing. They're tying roping off part of your stomach, so you don't eat so much.
Lap band or whatever.
Lap band. There you go.
Yeah.
And then you can get the band taken in or out to allow more food or less food. That scares the hell out of me. I mean,
me too.
That just sounds like
I know two people who've had it, and both people had severe problems because of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One had to get it reversed.
I know one guy that had it and lost about 120 pounds, but he was also 4-something. But even after that, he's gaining weight again because he had him loosen it. So it's like, what's the point?
What was the point?
Yeah.
Did you say he was 4-something, like 4 foot something?
No, he was 400-something pounds.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was like,
He's
fuck.
like 6'3", 6'4", so he's a tall guy, but still.
Guy's like 4'3",
500 pounds.
180 pounds.
It's like Penguin. Yeah.
Lost 110.
No.
Nice.
But yeah, he did lose a lot of weight, but as soon as they had that procedure where they took it out a little bit, he just was finding ways to eat. And really, it's not about eating. You can't just eat the same shitty food and less of it. You have to eat good food and less of it. And a lot of people just
That
I
sounds
can
like a
still eat
diet.
McDonald's. I can still eat McDonald's. And
Right.
Wait.
it doesn't work that way.
So you're saying that calories in,
Yes.
if calories in is less than calories out,
Yes.
you will lose weight?
What?
Holy fuck.
So you learned
revolutionary.
Holy
You learn shit on this show.
fuck.
That's
revolutionary.
Amazing. I know, right?
Wow.
It
It's
is.
kind of like if you spend more money than you make, you're in debt.
But if
Is
you
that true?
spend
It's
less...
true.
I thought you'd get credit cards and pay for it.
Oh, yeah. Boom. There you go.
There you go. See,
Loophole.
you're no longer in debt now
Fucking loophole.
because
Or
you
you
just
just
don't pay
write-
the credit cards,
There you go.
and you claim bankruptcy. Yay!
Or you just write yourself a check for $1 million,
Right.
And then you have,
Yes,
No,
million dollars?
that's a trick that the U.S. government...
yeah,
yeah, only the U.S. government gets away with that one.
yeah.
Or, all the governments. We are not really...
You seen that?
I'm not going anywhere with that.
Yeah.
Someone
That's why
cut
I
me
just
off.
jumped right on in there. I was
Thank
going to
Trying to get too political.
intercept that thought.
We're getting
Romo.
political while we're smoking the Eastern Standard here.
Did you just drop a Romo?
I'm calling you Romo because I intercepted you. Although Romo did not throw any interceptions this weekend.
Did you throw anything at all?
Yeah, they didn't throw a lot. They ran the ball
Yeah.
most of the day.
Makes sense.
Why?
It makes sense. I wonder why.
He still didn't look
Exactly.
healthy. He was underthrowing people and everything. But that's not. This isn't our sports segment, though, guys.
No, it's not. Yeah, we'll
No.
save that. Yeah, we'll save that. So we are going to go ahead and take a break at the first third here, just because we want to make sure we have enough time with the Caldwell guys later in case that goes late. So we'll be back for the second third. First third, what do you guys think before we leave?
It's very tasty. It's smoothed out. It's smoothed out a little bit.
Yep, still very spicy.
Yeah.
A lot of
I've started to pick up a little bit of citrus on mine.
oh, a little citrus. Okay.
But lately
Yep.
I'm getting
It's
citrus
very,
in everything.
Very
so
tangy.
I don't know if that's
very
reliable.
tangy.
Yeah.
Tangy and
is good.
delicious. Yeah.
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 Spicy, yummy.
I'm liking it.
So we'll take a break. We'll come right back.
Okay.
All right, we're back for the second third of the Caldwell Eastern Standard.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yummy.
I've kept my ash thus far. No, don't do that.
Mine was
Stop it, Wilson.
Mine was blooming a little bit, Wilson.
Wilson
from Home Improvement.
Yep, he's our Wilson
He
factor.
Is. He
He's the
kinda
Wilson
is.
factor. Yeah.
He is. Oh, speaking of Wilson, I was watching an old Wipeout the other night, and do you like how I used the exact same enthusiasm? That's a thought that just popped into my head. I'm such a good actor. I can act my ass off. Anyway,
of Wilson,
so
we're going to wipe out somehow.
Jill was interviewing this guy, and he said, she's like, I understand that you're... Oh, you bastard.
Way to go, dick.
Ashed.
Shut up,
Muncher.
Wilson.
His arm's like 12 inches from an ashtray. God.
That's right.
Anyway,
I'm gonna go
so
like this now.
That's a
you're
callback to the ESG.
you're killing my momentum on the Wilson
All right,
story.
go for it. You
So
son
Jill's
of a
interviewing this guy, and she says, I understand you quote movie lines. And he says, yeah. She goes, quote some for me. So you did the, you can't handle the truth. And then he goes,
How's that go?
you can't handle the truth. Anyway, I'm a good actor. I'm just not a good impersonator.
You can't handle the truth.
Anyway, so then the next one he goes, and then from Castaway, Spalding! And she goes, Spalding? Obviously Wilson was the name of the ball, but he said Spalding.
Wow, he said Spalding. Wow, was that a rights thing?
How
Maybe.
embarrassing.
Wow.
How embarrassing on national TV to get a chance to...
Oh my God.
He said the wrong one. It was pretty funny. Henson kicked him in the balls for it.
I would
It's
imagine
hilarious.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, Spalding, dumbass. All right, so
Nice.
now it's time. That time, you know what time it is?
What's that time?
It's that time for the
being
thing with the
British?
sports
AJ
Fiver.
Fernandez.
Is it the AJ Fernandez Sports
Sports
Fiver?
Fiver,
still?
yeah.
It is?
For now?
For now? Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds
The
like a
AJ
ringing
Fernandez.
endorsement for AJ Fernandez.
Well, we don't know if we're still. Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
There's some questions.
We got
Okay.
payment.
The AJ Fernandez Sports Fiver with Randy Rankin.
Yes, me. That would be me.
Is it you?
Little serious. This is going to kind of branch off a sports page, but it engulfs the sports page.
Are you going to talk about how Romo choked?
No, he played well this week. The NFL's in deep shit right now with the player. The player, what's the word I'm looking for? Conduct. And with between Adrian Peterson beating his child,
Yeah.
and what's the other one? Lost the other one.
Rice.
Ray Rice beating his girlfriend. Now, the Ray Rice one, no defense for it. I mean, yeah, she was coming after him, but you still don't hit a woman full blow in the face. You know.
Yeah.
I don't ever see a reason for that. The Adrian Peterson thing, while good catch. While it's horrible that it was a 4-year-old boy and everything, the question that keeps coming up on talk shows that I've heard is that some people are defending the fact that he was disciplining his child, and it just went overboard. I don't know. A 4-year-old with a switch is pretty tough.
Yeah.
But it begs the question, and I know you and I are in the same era. You know, I'm a little less than a year older than you. And so we grew up in the spanking era.
Yeah.
When it was,
Acceptable and people did it.
right.
Yeah.
And if Nate were sitting here like he's supposed to do on a talk show, I would include him on this. But since he's standing over there. Did you?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So you were probably the last generation where spanking was somewhat acceptable. But it was already starting to go away at that point. So how were you disciplined? Were you spanked? And
Oh yeah, I was. Yeah, my straight up paddled belt, wood, whatever. It was a combination of things, really.
whatever my mom could get her hands
Yeah,
on is basically it. Yeah.
Yeah, belt with a metal belt buckle. My dad had a cutting board that had broken, so he cut the other side of the cutting board and made it a paddle basically, and drilled holes in it.
Oh,
He
nice.
had me go to the garage when he was doing it, like, help me do this, and I'm like, okay, what are you doing? He's like,
Make a
cutting it.
paddle for you.
Here's sand that for me. Okay, stand it. I'm like, hold it. I'm like, what is this? He's like, give me it, and he puts holes in it, and he's like, that's the new paddle. I'm like, what? I was like, I didn't do anything. He's like, no, but if you do.
It's like making you tie your own noose.
I know, right?
It's like,
It's the equivalent of the Richard Pryor story where he has to go out and get the switch and
Right.
it's cutting wind on the way home
okay,
and
now,
stuff.
were you ever switched?
Yeah, by my grandmother, yeah.
Yeah. I would get threatened with it all the time, and it was always my grandparents that threatened it, so it must have been an older thing. But, my grandfather, don't make me go get a switch.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what the hell is he talking about?
So do you know what a switch
Yeah,
is?
I do.
I
because
don't.
it's a thin branch from a tree, so it whips.
It's basically a live branch from a tree that's still got a lot of bendiness to it, and you
you can hear that whoosh sound when you... Yeah.
when you hit with,
Fuck that.
and it will not break. So you get hit with that, you get spanked with that, and it leaves really
because
long red marks.
Because it's bendy,
whelps.
it wraps around. It can wrap. I mean, you'll get whelps on your thigh. You
Yeah.
hit on the butt with it.
Oh yeah,
And I spent the night with a kid, sleepover, friend's house, and he had a soccer game the next day, and so I went with him to his soccer game, and I don't remember what he did, but he did something in the game, pissed his mom off, and she grabbed a switch, and I'm sitting there thinking, she's not really going to hit him with that, is? I mean, that's just a threat. I mean, in my family, it was just a threat. She pulls the leaves off like that, grabbed his hand, and just started wailing on his legs. I almost cried. It was like I could tell the pain he was in, and I was thinking, I'm going to take that threat a little more seriously now that I've seen it in action.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm still of the mindset where I think spanking should be okay and should be allowed.
Yeah.
But never out of anger. I think you should plan a time. Okay, tonight you're going to get punished for this. And
yeah, you definitely want to have some cool down time before you deal with your kids as far as what they do. I think that's just good parenting. You have to have a level head when you're punishing your kids and make sure that they understand why they're being punished.
Yeah. But also understand the not spanking too. I mean, if you can deal with it without physical violence.
Yeah, but I personally am I don't think that timeout works.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10 the way parents do it is go timeout in your room, which means you can play with your toys and shit. That's not really timeout. That's I get to go play with my toys. So I think definitely, I'll say it. I've spanked my kids. I don't do it in public. I don't do it to excess. I do one spanking, and that's it, just to let them know, hey, this is what it is, and it hurts. Don't do it again.
Right.
But it's not the way my parents did it. It's not the way their parents did it. It's not. I think just as humanity grows and you try and be better than your parents as a parent. I think.
I think so.
And I think that's what works for me. Is I'll if I get to the point, I'll even threaten. Okay. You keep going, you're going to get a spanking. You want a spanking? No. Do you like when I spank you? No. Okay, well, don't do it. And if they still do it, you got to follow up with it because you said you're going to do it.
Yeah, you have to.
You can't not do it.
I was at a grocery store one time, and this kid was driving me crazy, just screaming, and he kept putting shit in the basket, with his mom's basket, and she kept taking it out. And she was telling him, she's like, you better stop this. You better stop it. And so that just made him scream more, and he's like running down the aisles. Well, I couldn't handle it, so I kind of went down a couple aisles. And I don't guess she saw me because she kind of went and she looked like she was trying to hide. And she whopped him on the butt. Just one hand, just one butt, or one shot on the butt. And
multiple butts. All of his butts. He had 6 butts up his back.
And then she looked up and realized that I was there, and she had this look of horror.
Like, crap, don't call the cops on me or something.
You got to reinforce that behavior by clapping.
What I said was, I would have done it 10 minutes ago. So
good on you.
Yeah, but... it's one of those dicey propositions on how much is too much, how much is not, But
with Sydney, being the older child, we've had. I think Zoe understands it more, and we've had to spank her less. But with Sydney went through a good couple of years where it was necessary, and we would just say, "Do you want to go to the bathroom?" I don't need to go. No, do you want to go to the bathroom? Look at her a certain way. She knows if I'm taking you to the bathroom,
it's
getting a spanking. Oh no. So it's. That's the way you do it in public.
That's
you go somewhere.
Be confusing.
Yeah, no. Well,
your poor kids.
So anyway, back to the NFL. They've got a real problem, and the Vikings are going to play Adrian Peterson this weekend.
Oh.
As of right now, they've decided to reinstate him. They suspended him for one game.
Wow.
And now there's new allegations that he's got another baby from another baby mama, and that mama has pictures of bruises from him being spanked.
Oh man.
So. You got to shut him down. You got to make a statement. You got to say, can't do this. Child abuse is not going to be accepted.
Yeah.
In the NFL, you're gone for a year.
Is it Nike that's talking about pulling their contract?
Nike's talking about it. The Vikings lost a big sponsor. I can't remember who it was, but it was a big corporate. Budweiser, I think it was.
Yeah, it was Budweiser.
Yeah, Budweiser pulled. That's a lot of money.
That's a
lot of money. Official face of
child abuse.
A team that does child abuse. Child abuser.
Domestic abuse.
Yeah. And, they suspended Ray Rice indefinitely, which I think they should have. But I'm going to defend Ray Rice's case a bit.
Okay.
Because
you're about to make some enemies.
No, they knew. The league knew.
No.
They knew. And they suspended him 2 games.
Yeah.
Oh, then public outcry comes, and, now it's indefinite. That's double jeopardy. You can't be punished once and then punished again for the exact same crime.
Not in the court of law, but considering that situation,
they're not a court.
I know, but still.
It is double jeopardy. It is. I mean, I brought that point up at work and got yelled at pretty profusely. But,
and I understand.
I'm not condoning what he did at all. But
how many times were you called to see during that argument?
A few times.
For my own metrics.
Yeah, it's about 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not. And I said I wasn't condoning what he did at all. I'm just saying that they should have been more thorough in their investigation the first time. They should have known the video's out there. We need to see the video before we make a punishment, and done it based on that.
Or just suspended him indefinitely then, and then if they come out and the video wasn't as bad, then they could have lessened it.
Yeah, if it was like her kicking his ass in the video and he pushed her and she fell,
that's different.
That's different than, the way it happened, or he punched her out, which was just
knocked her out cold.
Yeah.
God. And then dragged her out of the elevator.
Yeah, it was like
total. How else are you gonna get a bitch out of an
elevator? Total caveman style, man. That was
it's just ridiculous.
And then the guy was like, "She's drinking." He's like, "She's drunk." And like, wow, just lie about it too.
Just crap. So anyway, I'm not happy with the NFL. It's curious what kind of sponsorship they're going to lose. You know? It's going to hurt the game. And Roger Goodell came into the league, I'm a badass, and I'm going to suspend anybody for anything. And now he's just totally wimping out on this one. And
does that surprise you, really?
6 years ago, if you'd have told me this, it wouldn't have. It would have surprised me. It would have surprised me a lot. But the way he's acted the last couple of years, no, not at all.
Giant pussy.
But anyway, so I think Adrian Peterson should be gone for the year, and I think Ray Rice's indefinite suspension, while it is double jeopardy, should be upheld.
Yeah.
So that ends our depressing AJ Fernandez sports fighter.
Wow. That was the sports fiver of doom.
I was waiting for that like a couple of weeks ago
when
the whole Ray Rice thing came out.
Yeah. I wanted to wait for when multiple opportunities.
You're like, something else will happen. Yeah. I'm sure somebody else will come out and say something stupid.
Now I have to address it.
So thank you, Brandon and Cigar Deet Nate, for joining me, Randy Rankin, on the AJ Fernandez Sports Fiver.
I am taking the band off because I'm getting ready to burn into it. What do you guys think, second, third?
It got more delightful.
It did. I'm getting like nuttiness now. It's like
I was getting nutty before.
This is your hand motion for nuttiness.
Oh
just gonna,
my god!
Nuttiness.
Have some more beer. Drink some more.
God,
it's tasty. Yeah,
I like it.
I like it a lot.
I would smoke this a lot.
I think it's got morning cigar potential, but it's also got enough flavor that it can definitely be an afternoon, evening cigar.
Yeah,
because it doesn't have the traditional Connecticut creaminess that
I'm
you get.
getting no creaminess.
Yeah, no creaminess at all. But it is darn tasty. I wouldn't guess this in a blind review that it's a Connecticut at all.
No,
I would say Habano or something like that.
Habano's a good guess. But it's got that Criollo 98 in it.
Yeah.
Remember a couple of years ago when every cigar was Criollo 98?
Yeah. Yeah, I do remember that.
Tempest was Criollo 98. But those were wrappers, though. But this was part of the filler, wasn't it? Yeah.
Part of the filler. These guys do, I think it's all Dominican. So
nice
for a Dominican.
Yeah, that's
a lot of flavor.
Yeah.
Very good, guys. Very good.
So that Oja is a Dominican, and it's got a lot of. So maybe the Dominicans are starting to,
do something else.
Bold up their cigars.
Yeah, I think it's necessity out of what people are smoking now to go that way. Especially with the American people that are buying all the cigars. 60% of cigars bought are in America. So, yeah, make them bold.
I wonder what the percentage of cigars purchased in America or purchased by Americans are Cubans.
I wonder what percentage of cigars purchased by American are kept in a locker and not smoked. Because Americans are collectors, man. They like to collect, and there's so many limited edition things coming out now that there's a lot of collectors.
Yeah. I have more cigars now than I ever have in my life.
Oh, I imagine so, yeah.
But it's like 40.
I have more cigars than I've ever had in my life, and it's way too many.
Yeah.
So. I'm running low.
You are running low? You are running low?
Yes, I am running low. I've got 12 in my box right now.
That's what she said.
I was waiting. That's a hell of a box.
He put that right on a tee.
I know. I was waiting for it. I was going to say it if you didn't say it.
I have 12 in my box
right now. Oh, this show's dirty.
4 of them are quadruplets.
Oh man.
So what is your preference now, size-wise, in cigars? Now that you've been smoking for a while, you still prefer the big ring gauge stuff? Or are you more of a Corona Lancero guy, or Robustos, or are you just all over the map?
I am all over the map. I don't have a size preference.
He's a mood smoker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Here lately, I've been in a Connecticut wrapper, light buttery, maybe some citrus mood.
Okay.
But that's rare. 3 weeks ago, I was in a powerhouse. Give me something that'll blow my tongue off, kind of thing.
I think I do that too. I mean, I go through phases. We said this before. It's kind of like music, where it's like all heavy metal, and then now I'm going to listen to jazz, and now you kind of do that with cigars. It's like you go through a phase where it's like all powerhouse stuff, and then you're like,
rock.
Yeah, Jap rock, Jap rock, or French rock, whatever. My weird ass tastes. But I think it just it's a cyclical thing. It depends on where your palate is at that point.
Not only that, it kind of goes on a cycle.
Yeah, you mean cyclical?
You mean like preferences repeat over time?
Yes, exactly.
Ah, okay.
It kind of like a circle thing.
You guys are weird. All right, so we're going to take another break. We'll come back for the last third of the Caldwell Eastern Standard with Robert Caldwell and Jeremy McDonald from Caldwell Cigars, which is cool.
You had to think for that.
I had to, yeah, because I was looking at myself and I get lost in my own eyes. This kind of happens.
God,
really, really gay.
I'm gonna quote a Debbie Gibson song.
Is that a Debbie Gibson song? I couldn't tell you. The only one I know is the "Think I'm Alone Now," the remake or whatever.
That was Tiffany.
Tiffany, okay.
I know my '80s pop stars.
What did she sing?
Shake Your Love.
Oh, God. Oh, that song made me want to punch kittens. It was horrible.
You guys have just dated yourself. And that date is old.
It is, yeah. Expired.
Yeah, but at least I get lucky that I date myself.
You sit on your left hand and call it the stranger.
I've heard about people doing that.
Hit the button.
We'll be back.
Hey, people would expect this from us.
We'll be back. All right, everybody, we're back for the last third of the Caldwell Eastern Standard. And we are joined now by Robert Caldwell and Jeremy McDonald from Caldwell Cigars. How you guys doing?
Well, thank you.
Doing well, and you?
Doing fantastic. Great cigar, guys.
Yeah, great cigar.
Thank
Really
you.
enjoying it.
It is darn tasty, yeah. So tell us a little bit about Caldwell Cigars.
What do you want to know about Caldwell Cigars?
Everything, man. I mean, I know where you came from and why you started it, but I wanted to hear your concept of the company, what you're bringing to the market that's different, where you see yourself, going cigar-wise, just the overall concept of the brand.
So, well, the whole idea behind Caldwell, when I left my prior partnership, I was very skeptical, kind of to return to the industry because I thought what I did with Winwood was so cool because it was so much more than a brand. I was the pioneer of the Winwood neighborhood, which is like a rundown part of Miami. The factory got tons of attention locally. It was a very cool thing. And, we did something very different and very special. So I was very skeptical of coming back with something. And I I went back down to DR probably about 3 or 4 days after I had kind of rescinded my partnership and started playing with tobacco. And I actually started blending cigars about 7 years ago, having no idea what I was doing. But I'd encountered some really special tobaccos when I was down there. So I started revisiting them. And then the concept kind of grew. And actually, probably about 3 months later is when I really decided to do it. And really, it was just I had great people around me that were willing to work with me and believed in me. And I had tons of customers. I think I had something like 50 customers reach out to me in the month after I left saying, "What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?" So I thought I should do something. And my team in DR is fantastic. Majority of our tobacco comes from Leo Reyes, who's a big grower down there. They've been growing for about 100 years. Very special, rare, nice tobaccos. And then we have a great factory that's called Tabacalera William Ventura. And just the top quality, top quality construction. So that kind of was the right mix. And then I had here in the States the right team going. So it was really down to concept at that point. But once I made the cigars, just started sampling and knew I had something, then it all kind of fell in place. But the whole idea behind our company is just to have fun. And yeah, we want to make money, but we want to have fun first. And kind of my position with all my employees is, look, if we build something great that everybody remembers 30 years down the line, that's one thing. But I want to do enough that 30 years down the line, everybody that works with me remembers what we did.
That's cool, man. It's a great way to come at it because you want to have fun with whatever you do, I think, is, that's the American dream, or any dream really, is to have fun doing what you love. And you guys sound like you're definitely doing that. I love the artwork that you guys have on the site and the concept of using those old-timey photos and sticking your faces in there, and just it seems like that's a great idea that I hadn't really seen before. And the baseball cards are epic, man. The baseball cards for the business cards is way cool. What brought you to that?
Well, the artwork is a variety of people. All the premium line stuff is done by an artist that goes by the name of Evoca One. He did a lot of work with me at Winwood, he kind of just stumbled in the factory one day. Now he's a top 10 worldwide street artist. He's a very good friend of mine. So I gave him the names of the brands because I had the brand names first, and then he kind of developed those concepts. And then we're lucky to have everybody that works with us for the most part is a creative. So Jacqueline, she did sales for us in Florida, does our events, but she does a lot of our marketing. So all of that stuff is hers. And then it was just like, what can we do to engage people? So the business cards were actually my idea. Was the first thing I thought of. You go into cigar stores, that's modern day Cheers for Americans. So we go and we sit down, smoke cigars. But what you find there is you find a lot of guys that aren't really social. They're a little bit reserved. And what I noticed in my travels is that I go into a store and oftentimes I'm intimidating, or a rep can be intimidating to a customer there. They're bashful. They don't want to ask you questions. So it was something that we could do that would just initiate contact with a customer. So all my guys hand out cards to everybody in the store. It has some stupid statistics on the back that are meant to be conversation starters just to break the ice. So it's a way for us to get more personal with the end consumer and kind of eliminate that fear. And it's a weird thing because why would you be scared of a rep? But a lot of guys are very good, and it is an intimidating thing to have a cigar rep come in, you know, depending where you are. I mean, New England, you might not have that issue, but certain parts of the South and Midwest, guys get a little shy.
Well, everybody in Texas is packing, so yeah, they're definitely a little more.
Are you guys are in Texas?
Yeah, we're over in Texas, yeah.
Was that a dick joke?
I found that in this industry, at least in Texas, we actually enjoy when the reps come by as opposed to other businesses I've worked in. When you see a rep, you're like, oh crap, there's a rep. But here in Texas, we welcome and embrace all our reps. It's interesting to find out that there are some stores that are shy. That's interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, there's some kind of interesting parts of the country. You just have that, you know, you walk in, everybody's real shy. They don't want to talk to you. And it's not necessarily that they don't want to talk to you, but they're just very timid people. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of bringing that out. Yeah, Texas doesn't have that problem.
So tell me a little bit about the different cigars that you guys have right now. You have the King is Dead, Long Live the King, and the one we're smoking, the Eastern Standard. What was the concept with the names of those, and you used a very unique wrapper, from what I understand, the Negrito, which is not the easiest thing to blend with. What was the idea there working with that, taking that challenge?
So actually, that's the first cigar that I ever worked on. I started playing with that tobacco about 6 years ago, something like that. And I started. My background is actually making cigars for upscale hotels. So I started out making cigars for Four Seasons, W Hotel, stuff like that. Not as a private label, but as a true micro batch. So we blend cigars for them, custom packaging, labels. That's something I kind of fell into. So that was a tobacco that I tried years ago in DR, and I'd smoked it just pure Negrito, and I thought it was the most unique flavor profile of anything I tasted, but it wouldn't burn. So, and then I blended it with stuff, and then when you blended it, it tasted really bad. So it was something that I revisited this time around, and I've been wanting to work with it actually at Wynwood, but I never had the opportunity. So that was the first thing I went back to, and I had to have a Negrito cigar. So we made that work, I think, pretty well. And the names behind it, my original concept was to have a cigar which you could smoke immediately after the other one. So sometimes you'll smoke a cigar and it's great, and then you smoke a cigar right behind it, and that cigar is even better because the first one was affected your palate in that way. So the idea for King is Dead, Long Live the King was to smoke them sequentially. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really work. They taste good on their own. Who cares? But it's kind of this dumb idea that I had. And I just thought the names were amazing. So I kept the names, killed the concept, and then those became the brands. And then Eastern Standard is another one. That was something that I was actually originally not going to release at all. I was afraid that it would be too light because I like mild to medium cigars. I like a full flavored mild cigar, or like a medium plus cigar. Eastern to me is weird because it's got all the flavor and the depth of flavor you'd expect from something that's full body, but it's smooth and creamy. And everybody that I sampled that cigar to is like, you got to make this cigar. And I'm like, I don't want to come out with something light, but that's been a real interesting cigar to have in our portfolio because the feedback's been, guys are like, oh, it's a full-bodied Connecticut, which is impossible. But the thing is, it's got so much richness and depth to it that it smokes full body without the body, I guess. So, and the name off that was coincidental. I was looking for a name, saw it on a cocktail list, and said, hey, shit, it's a good name.
So where'd the picture come from of the dude on the cigar? What was the idea for that?
So my friend who's this artist, I gave him the names, and then he's the one that actually developed the artwork for them. So he drew or painted each one. And at Eastern Standard, he developed it to be, I mean, who knows? You say Eastern Standard, it's a time zone, it's whatever it is. But he saw it to be kind of like a Russian most interesting man in the world looking figure. So that
yeah, that's kind of what I thought when I saw it too. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, and then King is dead. He took this chair that I sat in at Wynwood, and he broke it in half and put it on the label, which I thought was pretty cool. And then Long Live the Juvenile King. Originally, it was a very young boy with a huge crown that was falling on his face, but then we had a little pushback because our original logo had 2 children on bicycles, and didn't like that. So then we decided to make the kid 19 instead of. So he's legal to smoke in every state.
There you go.
That's awesome. So Jeremy, I hear you're kind of a gourmet guy. You like gourmet stuff. What do you pair with cigars? Do you pair certain foods or drinks?
You know what? It all depends on the cigar, the blend. I mean, I love whiskeys, microbrews, coffees. Some cigars, it's just water. It really just depends upon the blend. I obviously have some preferences with, like, the Eastern Standard. I very much enjoy, like, Irish whiskeys with it. And I love, like, coffees and Ethiopian blend. The fruitier, they bring out the fruit notes, and it just tends to complement the cigar really well. You know, obviously it's a personal preference, but it's something that I very much enjoy doing. I just find that it enhances the cigar and the beverage you're drinking.
Yeah, I could easily see this being an Irish whiskey cigar. As soon as you said that, it was like, yeah, that would go well with this.
That works.
Yeah.
I recommend Jameson Gold Label with this.
Okay. Gold label, huh? I didn't even know they had a gold label.
Yep. Apparently they do.
Apparently they do. We probably can't afford it, though.
Probably not, yeah. So you guys have a budget line, or I can't really say it's a budget line, but you have another line that's coming out, or that is out currently, the Junior Varsity. So
yes.
Where is that fitting in with the line? What was the idea there?
So the factory that we're working with, 2 things. First of all, everything that they made us tasted very good. It was very medium size. We actually blended and purchased all of our own tobaccos because we wanted something very unique. But when we went to them, they're like, this is what we make. And I was like, that's good shit. It's very good shit, but it's not what we wanted, you know? And love them to death. They kind of are in this tunnel zone of flavor profile. So they have a very successful brand in Dominican Republic that they sell locally. And that's what this brand was kind of built off of. So we took what they make, we modified it slightly. I mean, honestly, we just made everything a little bit stronger for the American market. And then we changed the sizing. So they had a lot of Panatellas and Petite Coronas and things that I love. But we had to add the Toros and the 60s and stuff to that line. So the concept behind it, I mean, they're great cigars, everyday price point. We go $460 to $690 on those products. And it's just something that you can smoke every day. I smoke some of them. I like all the Corona sizes. I think are fantastic. The Robusto Gibraltar I think is great. The Toro Murcias I think is great. But that's all I smoke. I smoke the 3 Coronas. Or some of them aren't even Coronas. It's like a hybridized Petite Corona type size. But I think they're great. And for the money, you can't beat them. I mean, I just think they're phenomenal smoke. So you have a lot of markets where you go in, or just stores in general. I mean, not everybody earns enough income to be able to support a $10 cigar habit. You know, there's a lot of guys out there that need a $4.50, $5 cigar. So we put them in 10-count boxes. They retail for $46 on the box. It's a brilliant price point. We launched that along with the other, the Caldwell collection. We launched it in California in 10 stores, and we realized the first month that we wouldn't be able to keep up with the demand. And it's funny because it's the silent, it's kind of like the silent sales thing. Like, we don't pay much attention to it, but it sells, you know. And we've had a lot of really positive feedback on it. A lot of guys are like, how can you call this Junior Varsity? Fuck you. They take it very personally that we kind of minimize that brand. But the whole concept is like, look, you got your starters and you got your bench warmers. Bench warmers can be good, you know. And everything that I make is too strong. If I was going to light a cigar at 9 in the morning, nothing that I make on the Caldwell collection is light enough for me to enjoy. Because I like my first cigar to be mild or true medium. Eastern, to me, has too much spice to smoke the minute I wake up. And I'm not a get out of bed and light a cigar guy, but when I'm on the road, get up and go out at 9 in the morning, I got a cigar in my mouth, and I smoke Sevillana or Gibraltar. So they offer a lot of different things to the portfolio. I think the most interesting are probably Gibraltar because it's such a unique taste. It's just I think it's such a balanced cigar. And then the Murcias, the San Andres Maduro. First of all, the price point on that cigar to get a San Andres right at $5 is crazy. And then secondly, most blenders put San Andres over Nicaraguan tobacco, makes it taste very strong. So they associate San Andres Maduro as a powerhouse. And really that tobacco is not a strong tobacco, so we put it over all Dominican filler and binder, which guys smoke it and they're like, what am I tasting? I'm like, you're tasting San Andres. So it's interesting because there's very little in that cigar that affects the wrapper. So when you smoke it, you really taste what that wrapper is, which is a very interesting profile.
It's going outside the box and doing something different with San Andres, which is awesome, man. You know, there's not a lot of people doing that. So appreciate what you guys are doing for sure. Bringing the Dominicans in and doing something different with them is awesome.
Thank you.
I got a weird question for you.
All right.
What would you rather be, a pirate or a ninja?
Pirate.
Pirate. Okay. That's it. What about you, Jeremy?
This is the best.
Pirate.
Anybody?
Pirate? Pirates. No ninjas.
All right. So for clarification, are we talking about Pirates of the Sea or Pirates of the Internet?
Ooh, that's a good question. No, Pirates of the Sea, of course. They're the cooler ones.
I'm asking for clarification for those that answered.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, pirate. I'd go ninja, but that's just me. I don't know. Whatever. Okay.
Who would win in the fight?
Is okay. Well, the pirate buddy's probably going to jump in there, so
Right.
maybe the pirate. Well, the ninja you probably wouldn't see coming, though, right? I don't know, man.
You guys notice how Jerry doesn't know how this thing works, and he's right in the camera?
Right. I don't know if you guys understand this or not, but you guys are blowing up in the cigar forums. I mean, I haven't seen a cigar that has come out that's blown up that fast in the forums as the Caldwell Cigars. I mean, you go into Stogie Friends, you go into BOTL, you go into a lot of the different forums that are out there, and everybody's talking about your cigars. Do you guys do a lot of cross-marketing with the new media, or is it just that they're smoking them and they love them?
I think they smoke them. I mean, it's interesting because when I was with Winwood, I have a lot of resources that are not cigar resources, so it was weird because I was at Winwood and Lincoln, the car company, came down and collaborated with me. I don't even know what the hell. They had a video of my factory on the Lincoln automobile website. So I reached out and I had a lot of non-traditional media going with that. However, with that project, I had a partner that did this, and I had a full sales force, and I had a sales manager. So it was a much bigger operation, which allowed me to focus more on those things, you know. So this time it's funny because I have two good friends of mine that partnered with me, and they're like, "Oh, when are we going to get the media exposure?" When, you know, because I haven't called in any favors or any editorial. So I've actually done very little to promote it. All I can say is I think we got a great team that really represents us as a brand phenomenally. And actually, to that effect at the trade show, you guys would come by and they're like, "God, this is a great cigar." Then they come by 2 days later and they'd be like, "You're the coolest fucking company here." And I'm like, "Thanks." Why? They're like, "You guys just have a synergy amongst you that's awesome." And we actually, this weekend, we were at the Little Smoke up in Spokane, Washington, and we had 4 or 5 guys come by and compliment just the 2 or 3 guys that were there with us. So I think a lot of it is on the shoulders of the people that work with us. We're all friends. We don't yell, we don't get mad, you know. And even I've had, like, Jeremy screwed up last week, and then Glenn, my guy in the South, screwed up the week before. And it's like, what can you learn from that is our approach. So I think people walk in stores smiling, proud to work with us. And I say with, not for, because they work with us. And I think that has a big effect on the consumer. And I think our branding and our packaging, I always say, anything that you sell, it's like a woman. You don't walk down the street and go, "God damn, that woman looks so sweet." It doesn't fucking happen. So the first thing that happens is you say, "Damn, she's hot." And that's packaging. So that brings you to the table. Then you ask her out. You take her to dinner. If she's an idiot or an airhead, it's probably going to be a one-night dinner. If she's really sweet, smart, and all these things, then you keep taking her out. And that's kind of the idea with my cigars. It's like I have to be flashy or different with my packaging. And I try to have all my boxes are as classic as you can get in terms of the actual container. But to have a very different approach to the artwork, which is going to cause attention and get people talking, but then the cigars have to line up. If not, they'll never try them again. And there's plenty of guys out there that have brilliant packaging with shit cigars, and there's plenty of guys out there that have great cigars with shit packaging. So I think it's kind of that combination. I think that we did a good job with our team and with kind of hitting on the head the marketing approach that the brand has on its own. You know.
Can I add to that?
Go for it.
Well, you made a comment about how on the forums that we've been blowing up, and you were kind of asking the reasons behind it. And it's been such an incredible thing to see on a daily basis, whether it's through blogs or people reaching out to each one of us individually, just while I'm in a shop, a customer talking to me. We've done nothing for marketing, and that's the beautiful thing about this, is it really is a true like grassroots, where it's been the consumer that has been building this brand for us, and they're talking about it to their friends, and it's just caught like wildfire, and it's a very humbling but very cool experience to be a part of a brand that people are identifying with, and it's they like the cigars, they like the company. You know, one of the things Robert left out is while we were in Spokane, we got asked to multiple people's houses after to go on a pontoon boat, to go cliff diving. They just wanted to hang out, and you had all these other companies that are great companies, manufacturers there, and we had a huge group around us of just people hanging out because they just were having a good time with us. We're sharing bottles of bourbon together, we're drinking, we're smoking, and it's just been a cool experience because we're just representing us, you know, and hopefully we're doing a good job of that, and it seems to be so that people are responding to it, and they're essentially building the brand for us. So it's an amazing thing to see.
It's kind of a early day Drew Estate vibe that you guys kind of have, you know. Thank you. The early days of Drew Estate when it was just starting and they were.
Yeah, and that's another point that's very interesting. All the big little guys out there, whether it's Room 101, Drew Estate, Tatuaje, you never know how you're going to be approached by brands like that because we don't see ourselves like. People ask me in the beginning, they're like, "Who are you going after?" And I'm like, "Nobody. I'm going right down the middle." So I don't think, you know. A lot of the smaller brands that come out with a rock star or a motorcycle or change. A lot of guys go down these avenues, and we came out very differently. And it was interesting because I got on the airplane to fly to Las Vegas. First guy that I saw on the plane was Jonathan Drew. Got up, give me a hug, love what you're doing. How can I help? I'm like, hey man, thanks. I get to the show. Dion's like, hey, love what you're doing. How can I help? You know, Pete, same way. Matt's a great friend of mine. He's introduced me to a dozen accounts. And so we've had a lot of that participation too, which is, I mean, I don't think we might be close to where we are, but we wouldn't be where we are without the help of a lot of the other companies. And we've had, I don't want to go through the list, but at least 5 big companies also trying to help us. And it's just very cool to have an industry that seems so kind of elbowing each other in the stomach be so supportive of what we're doing. And that's been just really a blessing to us as well. So I think a lot of it is consumer-driven, as Jeremy said, which is amazing. But then we have had a lot of help. I mean, we have reps all the time that we bump into on the road. And we go to a sales call, and the guy's like, no, I'm not interested, or maybe later, or next month. And then the rep or the owner will be like, are you fucking kidding me? You need to order this shit now. So we've had a lot of push from other companies helping us, which has been really cool.
It's a very collaborative industry. It really is. You hear stories all the time of people reaching out to help other companies.
Yeah, and I don't think there's very many industries out there that really do that. I mean, you don't see Coke helping Pepsi, that's for damn sure. But
right.
The cigar industry is full of a bunch of people who just, you know, love the hobby and want to see it grow. And I think we're definitely in a cigar boom, for sure. I mean, I think I see that. Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure what the numbers say. I think they do say that, but I agree. And I think that we're attracting much different, the next generation of smoker, which is good, because I think smokers are getting a little bit younger. And I think that the boutique brands and kind of the more hip marketing has helped to create that, which is great, because if they instead became non-cigar smokers, then you have a very short-lived industry out there, or, you know, an industry with a shorter life. But it's interesting because I see even in my peer group a lot of guys that don't smoke, not because I make them, but because they get genuinely interested in trying them. And that's cooler because I can say 5 years ago I didn't see that, you know.
Right. Right.
I think if we're having a boom, it's only going to grow because smokers are getting, you know, I think probably a majority of the growth in my mind would be 25 to 35-year-old age range. Those guys will keep smoking forever. And then if you keep attracting that 25, 35 range, you know, we can build the market a bit.
What are your thoughts on the impending FDA ruling?
You know, I obviously very strongly disagree with FDA regulation of any sort. All I can say is I got my asshole really tight. What they have to say. So I mean, we have a lot to lose, as do most other brands out there, based on what you're looking at on terms of how they say they regulate. I think it affects everybody. I think it's an awful thing. Then, I mean, I don't think there's anything to say outside of that. It hurts everybody, helps nobody, except for maybe a couple big, guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, we want to thank you guys for coming on the show. That wraps up about our segment here for the last third. And I'm going to say, man, I dig the smoke. It's a great smoke.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to trying the other two. Who is your rep here in Texas?
Tom Poehler.
Okay.
Tom Poehler. Okay.
We'll have to have a talk with Tom.
Yeah, he's got a big fucking box of samples that's about to go out too.
We'll definitely have to have a talk with Tom then.
Yeah, thank you guys
for coming in and talking to us. A big thanks to Jeremy and Robert from Caldwell Cigars.
Guys.
Thank you. All right.
See you later, guys.
All right. So it was nice talking to those guys from Caldwell
cool.
Cigars. Yeah,
They seem really
way
cool.
He had like a million bands on.
Nice. I like people with flair.
Yeah, he definitely had flair. Yeah. The other guy had an epic beard, which is awesome.
And he was in Hawaii. Damn it.
Yeah. I don't know if he's really. You think he's really in Hawaii? I don't know. He was
I'm
just saying that.
I'm just gonna assume.
You're gonna go with it?
I'm gonna go with
it. Okay, cool.
Makes it cooler.
Yeah. So as always, check us out on the normal places you can find us.
iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Stitcher, Podomatic, Podcast Land, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
Mm-hmm. And don't forget to add us on the Facebook at Calypso Cigar Review, and you can also add Calypso Cigar Shop and Lounge.
The Facebook, huh?
The Facebook.
The Facebook. You can find us on at Calypso Cigar Rev on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at Randy Rankin 43.
At Cigar Deet Nate.
Correct.
At Captain Funky Pants. And as always, it's been great smoking with you.
See you later, fellas.
See you later.
Manja.